Hi, welcome back to the Reload Bench. So recently I did two versions of a long video explaining why I finally decided to get into reloading 9x19mm Luger. I've been reloading for 6 years, and that's a caliber I've been avoiding. I finally bought the last couple things I needed in order to have the capability to reload the caliber. You know, I already had components and tools and whatnot, so now I can reload that if I want to. And right now I've got 575 bullets and enough components for all those bullets. So I have the potential to make 575 additional cartridges. Additional to what? Well, that's just it. I stock all kinds of different calibers, not just what I own, but I even have some ammunition for guns I don't own or own yet. But I don't keep an inventory. So I decided what I'd do is I'd get the one can that I keep my 9mm in, and then go around and look for the few other places where I have a box here or a box there, and bring it all together and put it on the reload bench and count it and figure out what I've got. So what you see here is 2,518 rounds of 9mm Luger. Now some of them are full boxes, but other, like this Federal Syntech, I shot 15 rounds of it, so they're partial boxes. Now, you might think that I'm just trying to rub it in your face because you can't get 9mm right now. It's really hard to find. And that's not what I'm doing at all. I'm trying to share some experience with the people who are frustrated because of the shortages. You see, this isn't something I just went out and bought in February right before we started having these panic buys. This is the leftovers of 20 years of buying this particular caliber. And mind you, this is not the caliber I shoot the most, if that gives you any idea about what kind of inventory I've got to deal with. All right, so when I buy, whether it's at a store or online, I try to shop for deals, or maybe I'm trying to buy some ammo that I want to try out, like this Syntech, right? I wanted to try it out, or there's certain self-defense ammo that I like. I'll get some of that. So I've got a little bit of variety of this, that, and the other. And after coming back from the range, I just throw it in the can, and whatever I got left over is what I end up with. And I built up a stash, not by buying by the case. Even though that makes more financial sense, most of the time, I don't necessarily have the money to buy a case of ammo. Or at least I have the money, but I don't want to spend it. That's really the truth of it, is I don't want to spend it. So what I usually do is I buy a box here and a box there. I'm at the sporting goods store buying cleats for my kid. You know, I go over into the firearms section, pick up 2 boxes. I'm placing an order for reload supplies for 44 Magnum. I throw in a box of ammo. You know, something like that. And before you know it, I build up a stash of ammo, and not just this caliber, but other calibers. Or I build up an inventory of reload supplies or spare parts or what have you, because I just add stuff on. Or when I'm traveling out of state, I'll stop at gun stores out of state, and if I see something that I haven't seen around here, I'll snatch it up and bring it back. At the very least, reload supplies. I'm always scrounging for reload supplies, because in my area there aren't a lot of stores that sell reload supplies. I actually have to go about 3 hours north of here or 2 hours south of here for any decent shopping for reload supplies. And ordering online, I don't like to pay the hazmat fee. I will, but I don't like to pay the hazmat fee. So if you're limited on space or you're limited on budget, there are ways you can gradually build up your supply of ammunition or anything else that you need. Now, I understand that's not the answer you want. What you want to know is, where do I get 9mm and where do I get it right now? And the answer is nowhere. See, if you're new to this and you don't have any experience, you haven't gone through one of these panics before, then this is frustrating you because you have a gun and you can't get ammo for it. If you've been around for a while and you're frustrated right now because you can't get any ammo, why didn't you learn from last time? The reason I have this and all my other my reload supplies and everything else is from learning from all the previous times we've had shortages. The panic buys. We were out of 22 long rifle for a year. Nobody ever figured that one out. I remember before that it was 380 ACP. We've had times where AR-15 magazines were unavailable, and when they were $90. Some of you guys may not even remember that. Okay, there have been all kinds of things. They're talking about a legislation. Everybody runs out to the store and buys whatever it is they're about to ban. These are things that happen over and over again. So whether you're just a gun owner or you're a Second Amendment advocate, it's an opportunity for you to learn. That way, when supply is high and prices are low, that's when you're stocking up. But you don't necessarily have to break the bank to stock up. Now, in addition to showing you just how much 9mm ammo I've got, I thought I would go ahead and give a couple tips as far as storage. Now, you can use military-style ammo can, or you can use a plastic ammo can that's available commercially. The military ones you can buy at a surplus store. But here's a plastic ammo can from Plano, and in it there's a rubber seal. My recommendation is you always open it up, make sure the seal is in there. I've seen a few where there was no rubber seal. Don't buy those. That's going to help keep out the moisture. On the military ones, like this one for 20mm cannon ammunition, you can get the smaller ones like the 50 cal or the 30 cal cans, the 5.56 cans. You can even get cans for mortar shells. They're going to have a rubber seal up at the top. You want to inspect it and make sure the rubber seal is there. It's not dry rotted or cracked or anything else like that. And you want to make sure that the ammo can seals pretty good. Some of them have 2 latches like that. Some just have 1 latch. You want them to seal pretty good. If you keep your ammo in that, it'll keep it dry, and you'll be just fine as far as keeping ammo for decades. Another thing I recommend you do is you make a label for it. Now, you could simply just take some tape, some masking tape, put it on there, take a Sharpie. These 2 labels here I made with a P-Touch label maker. It's kind of fancy. It's more cleaned up. You can even buy labels. I recently bought some from MCM Case Guard, and you can put those on your ammo boxes. Another thing I recommend you do is you get desiccant. Now, you can order it online from Amazon. I've never seen it at a store, but you can get it off of Amazon. But in my case, this came in a crate at work. We got a new machine in, we uncrated it, and they were simply going to throw all the desiccant in the trash. So I took it home. And you might say, well, that's great for you. You work at a factory. I don't. I work in an office. Well, you know that toner in the copier that nobody ever wants to change out? Well, if you ever bothered to change it out, you'd know there's a little desiccant bag in the sleeve with the toner. So if you volunteer to change all the toner cartridges in the copiers at work, you're going to end up with a bunch of free desiccant. That's how I've done it. So that's a little tip from me to somebody who's new to firearms on how to store your ammo. This is leftover, from 20 years worth of purchases. If you don't have the money, or you don't want to spend the money, or space is an issue, or what have you, just gradually build up your supply. Just because you bought 3 boxes on Friday doesn't mean that on Saturday you have to shoot all 3. You will build up a stash for when there are shortages. And if you want to get into reloading, don't let it intimidate you. It is going to take some space. There's some initial costs in getting into it. And you want to store your reloading material indoors. Same thing, you don't want to have it in a high humidity area. But once you get into reloading, you're going to find that it's even easier to deal with these shortages. It's not in the cards for everybody, so your other option is to make sure that you've got a good stockpile of ammo. Another thing is maybe possibly have more than 1 caliber of each kind of firearm, more than 1 handgun, more than 1 rifle, more than 1 shotgun, what have you, because maybe if this one isn't available, some other caliber is. The downside to that is the additional cost, the additional space. Now you're storing even more ammo. So, and some calibers cost a lot more. A lot of people like 9mm because of how cheap it is, right? When you go from 9mm to 10mm, the price is way up there, right? But there's plenty of 10mm available right now. So what does that tell you? So these are just different things to consider, different things to think about. And if you just, when times are good, you buy a little here, buy a little there, you won't notice the cost. And before you know it, you'll build up your own stockpile. Thanks for watching.